And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the grand finals, los grand finales here of the Platinum StarCraft 2 League October 2025 edition. We here returned with the grand finals, and before I get ahead of myself, a big shout out to Hatsu in the chat. Thank you so much for the raid. Hatsu, of course, was casting over in her own native language as well, was casting the events. But thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great time covering your own respective matches. Thank you so much for the raid as we are jumping into said grand finals. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of ley lines, we have the red Protoss player. The red Protoss representing Team Little Fairy. It is Shameless. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Terran player, himself. It is Percival from South Korea. Here we go. As we're getting into our grand finals, if you're in the chat, predictions are open and place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we get into our best of 5. Let's go, baby, let's go. Need to get a Monster Energy sponsorship. I mean, I wouldn't drink it though. Like, it'd be a bad sponsorship because I rarely have to like break glass in case of emergency sort of thing. Those are curious. So we do cast a little StarCraft here. We cast more StarCraft than anyone else out there. Whenever we find ourselves in like a big cast, so say like Home Story Cup, which is often like 14 plus hours, or EPT qualifiers, which is like Oceania, like China, rest of Asia, into Europe, into Americas, which can be like 14 to like 16 hours. If we ever like end up in like a really long, intense cast like that, that's typically when caffeine is required. Otherwise, like, we're good. Those are good. I'm not one of those people that I'm not like the general public, which like needs coffee like in the morning to like function. I'm good. Only need it in case of emergencies. But we're fueled by passion, man. Fueled by passion. No. Passion and agüita. Yeah. But now though, we are getting into our grand finals, best of 5. We do have our initial openers as well. It is going to be Ranks Expand Economic Opener out of Percival. We have our economic opener. Likewise, we have Shameless going for a standard opener himself. Nothing crazy, nothing wild. Welcome, of course, to the grand finals here. When it comes to these two players, as I mentioned before, this is a rematch. They faced off in the semifinals earlier a couple of days ago in the Turtle Tussle. Did go to the ace match. We'll see if we can also get it back and forth. Regardless of the series score, regardless if this goes the way of Shameless or Percival, I want to see a game 4. I want to see a game 5. I want to see more games out of our two players. Gibbs, baby, Gibbs. I'm greedy like that. Gibbs. If I drink water, we can drink coffee, huh? No, the correct answer is like, I mean, there's water in coffee anyway, right? True. Go for it. Cab. Bottled water, yo, let's get that. What is it, like Fiji water sponsorship? Let's go. Let's go. Vámonos. I almost said Voss water, but no shot. We would know. No shot. It's too much for the Ducklings, family. Too much. As interesting, so we do have our Twilight Council opening here out of Shameless. We do have something more economic, 2-gate into a third base. Quite a greedy build here from Shameless. These kind of builds, they're out of fashion. They're typically a little bit too risky in the current meta, but they have been making a slight resurgence in the latest patch. We'll see if Shameless can get away with this. We'll see if he can. As we do have the drop here from Percival, he does scout, does confirm the timing of the CC, of the Nexus, I should say. So Percival, he's aware of the greedier build when Ryan comes in, and Shameless does pull away. It does pull away in time. Mind shot's going up. So far we get some decent connections at the same time. Reaper held into the natural. Shameless out of position. Yeah, he's out of position, not quite paying attention. That's going to be brutal damage. 8 probes going to 9, 10. 10 probe kills, a critical damage. That should not have happened. Ay, ay, ay. The Water Mine drop was okay, but again, Shameless, he left nothing in the natural to defend. He was caught with his pants down, the pants were down, and damage was done. Percival does take a very nice lead. Is comfortably ahead. Behind this, rushing into early stim, early combat shields. As opposed to a standard game, we would typically be having tank production here, but no, we have insanely fast stim instead, going for an earlier push and earlier timing. Ooh, and I was getting ready to see another set of Raxes, to be honest. I was getting ready to see a 4th and 5th Rax. No, 3rd TC. Percival, he will take a lead, and he will extend his lead, and he'll get further ahead as more probes are going down, and this is just a brutal start for Shameless. A brutal start here, losing 12 probes and 1 Stalker for what? For a Reaper, for a Hellion. There's still Widow Mines in the corner of the map as well. They can always come into play. At any moment, they can try to boost into the mineral line and try to get some damage done. Right now, the pressure's on Shameless to recover. The pressure is on. And you can see, like, the ramifications of all this damage done already here. You can see Shameless falling behind supply-wise, due to the economic lead. Due to the economic damage, I should say. And here comes Percival. Stim is finishing up in 10 seconds. Does move out, does Stim. Stim does contain Shameless, because Shameless is going to be stuck on 3 bases. And Percival, he has to be careful not to overextend. Picks up a pylon, pulls away. Shameless collapsing in the army. Percival, he does commit. Yeah, he gets caught out. He's getting caught out. I say that reinforcements have arrived. Does burrow. Shows some shots. Ooh, brutal connections. All the zealots go down. Now he can just stim in. And Shameless, he has to get out of here. Has to pull away. Cannot engage without zealots. Bleeds out a Stalker, a Sentry, no shot. He'll bleed out the Immortal. Massive loss there for Shameless. Oh my god. Mine shot goes off. There's still those Widow behind the main. And Percival, he goes from a 20 supply lead into almost a 40 supply lead. Percival, he was already ahead economically. It takes an even greater economic lead. Ideally, the Protoss wants to be up a base. We're equivalent on bases instead, so again, Shameless still far behind economically. Rallies into the army, bleeds out a Stalker. And Percival, he can soon go for the kill. He can soon just go for the kill. He can soon just send it. Shameless has got the bait being thrown down. He's working towards Colossus eventually. He'll get there, Pappy. He'll get there. Nah, he might not actually. He's working on it at least. Percival's getting his own 4th command center. What's crazy about this game state is that Percival's 4th CC is faster than the 4th base of Shameless, which should never be the case in this matchup. Shows how far ahead Percival is. Now, is there a chance here to recover? There is. If Percival moves out, at the same time, if Shameless gets into the main base with this War Prism, harasses the mineral line, and forces Percival to turn around while Shameless establishes a 4th base, then sure, like we can recover. That's a world where that can happen. But it's all going to line up. As Chargers, they do collapse in the army, okay? Nice pick up on the medevac. Shameless, who does hold on to the 4th base. At the same time, Zelramai doesn't get damage done across the map. Oof. One drop goes down. But one of the reasons why Percival didn't really do much damage across the map was that he left a lot of supply at home to defend. So he defends back at home. Shameless committing quite hard here. Oh my god, brutal connections. Brutal mine shots on the zealots. Percival does barely miss the War Prism. Shameless still moving in. Warping into the main. dives on the main army. But nice kiting here out of Percival. And kites down the main army. The Warping doesn't really achieve much either. Percival, he defends. And Shameless, he's running out of steam. He's running out of steam. He's running out of resources, army. He essentially threw everything away to attempt to recover and to attempt to deal some economic damage. Go 5 SCVs. But 5 SCVs, he lost 40 zealots. Oh god. 40 chargers went down. I mean, hey, he bought enough time for the Colossus, but Percival is about to max out. He's about to max. And we've yet to see him move out with the entire army. Soon he can. Up until this point, he's only fought with part of his, or with what, half his army at a time. The portion of his forces. That's also maybe like the best chance for Shameless is that Percival, he commits to a fight with only like a third of his army. So then Shameless can overwhelm that and then, you know, fight like a portion at a time. That's also a world where Shameless can recover. Percival's maxed. Again, he's still keeping a good chunk of army here to keep up with any kind of run by and counterattack. Like, this is a lot of supply up here. Abdi's also moving out. The specificity here of Percival is allowing Shameless to catch up. Slowly getting there. What's the big up? Nice EPs. Nice EPs on the Gateway Army. How many Vikings we have? So far 7. It's an okay Viking count against 3 Colossus. But again, Percival, he was very passive. Still not going to be easy here for Shameless, but trying to collapse in. Vikings, they get 1. They get 1 Colossus, they'll get cleaned up. Percival has to get the hell out of here. Has to pull away. And we spoke about it, right? Percival, he fights with, what, a third of his army. He has more forces towards the top side, more reinforcements back at home. This is best case scenario for Shameless. Fighting mainly harassing forces. Okay. Still not in love with Shameless's position, but it's better than it once was. True. As we're building on more disruptors, there's 3 so far. Percival is taking up in towards Liberators. Like, when it comes to the quality of the army, I still do lean towards Percival here, with his Ghosts, with his Liberators, with his Vikings. But the Liberators aren't out yet. And at the end of the day, now that we have Disruptors, hey, if like 1 or 2 Novas can connect, Nova goes up, up! Grace the army. Does grace the army, Nova does zone away. Catching a couple of Marauders. Nice target firing here on the Disruptor. Oof. Vikings, they punish the Colossus and the base is going to go down. And Percival, he breaks the expansion. Shameless again, he's relying heavily on those Disruptors. Heavily. Oh, Zelda coming first around. Does force a pick up. Does force a pick up. Vikings going to be thrown away. But Shameless, he just can't touch the economy of Percival. He's had some decent fights, but... Oh. Decent Nova. Nova goes off, but Percival, again, his bases have been untouched the entire time because of his lead, because of his map control. That's something that Percival has maintained, even in his passivity, or in his more defensive kind of stance. Shameless not moving out. But again, we just haven't seen any kind of decisive move out from Percival. There just hasn't been one this game. So Shameless hanging in there. Up to 5 disruptors now. Liberators have arrived, and we just miss each other completely. We're going for the base. Let's go. We're going for the base trade. And once again, best opportunity here for Shameless. He does catch reinforcements, picking up all of this entire army here. They're catching a couple Marauders, Marines, Liberators, Vikings. Just avoids the main fight, the main army. And Shameless are gonna keep going. Gonna keep pushing. And avoid that main fight. Ooh, blinks in. Takes down a couple of Liberators. Yeah, one more does siege. Pushing on top of the production. And again, this is the one chance here, the one opportunity for Shameless. Doesn't quite break in though. Nice cooldown supply. Heals up the depot. He still cannot get in. Yeah, Percival, he's fine. Oh my god, we just can't get into the main. GG gets called, calls out the supply, and Percival, he will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Percival, he was in control of this entire game. We did see some nice moments for Shameless where he was able to take some better engagements, but as we tried to emphasize, Percival, his economy was completely untouched. He had the greater economy, greater resource collection behind that, of course, so he could afford some worse fights. Something that was helping Shameless is that Percival, he never really brought his main army together for quite some time. He was so paranoid about run-bys and counterattacks. It allowed Shameless to take some engagements, take some better fights, to eventually max out, but the quality of the army was never quite there. It was never quite there for Shameless. He was never able to take map control away from his opponent either. They were able to harass. The base trade was maybe the best chance, the best option for Shameless, and GG. GG, well played. Percival does take the first game. But again, a lot of this is just predicated off of the early game, right? It was just a really rough start for Shameless. Winding it back, the reason why this was such a comfortable game for Percival is he killed 10 probes at the beginning of the game. The Widowmine drop with the Reaper Hellion harass was critical damage, and Shameless, he never quite was able to recover from that early enough. Yes, eventually he maxed out, but again, he was behind in other aspects, not just supply-wise, but upgrades, composition-wise as well. He was 1 step behind, or 2 steps behind. Here we go. Here we go. We're getting into our next game and spawning in the top left-hand corner here of Maganatha, we have the red Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Team Little Fairy. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back. It is Shameless. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran leading the series 1-0. It is Percival. See in the chats, are these live games? See. The only times we ever cast replays, it is stated in the title of the stream. So as you can see in the stream title, there's no indication of a replay cast. Otherwise, it will be there. So yes, live games. It is not uncommon for certain players to be playing really late into the night. There are certain degens out there in South Korea. Players like Percival, Byun, Hero as well, Solar, the degens. Not just in South Korea, but over in Europe as well, true. Like Clem and MaxPax, they are known to play up until 6 a.m. in the morning. Clem and MaxPax. Clem, MaxPax, Geralt, Wayne, and Nicaract, they're also some of the players. Wayne less so nowadays, but I would say that Geralt and Nicaract, they would often in the past play deep late into the night. Jimmy as well, he was known for that for quite some time. Jimmy would also play very late. In Europe, I mean. In NA weeklies. There's a handful of degens out there. Aye. And Percival being one of them. But here we go. Once again, economic opener. Economic start out of Percival. Shameless, forced to take the unnatural. Aye. That is a brutal start, and we'll see if Percival can punish this. Winding it back, sorry, we were just discussing some of the players and their sleep schedules. Percival, he was able to eBay block, and when you eBay block, if it goes unscouted, you do force your opponent to expand elsewhere, so really rough locationing for Shameless. When I say rough location, defending this base and defending your main can be very awkward because you have all this space in between, so the opposing Terran player can be hyper aggressive to punish this, right? They can go into Reactor Hellion, they can go into Early Cyclone, push in between the bases and punish. Otherwise, we don't have to. This could just be a standard follow-up here out of Percival and just have just a really awkward and really uncomfortable start for Shameless. Never base traded Terran, as they say. I would say never base traded Protoss, but Percival, he was in a really good position. Like, he was ahead enough. He's ahead enough back. Hey, Bobby, mostly lurking tonight, but wanted to pop in and thank you once again for the great job casting this. Oh, este pie. Ah, Shema, papi, Shema. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I do apologize for not seeing your message earlier. We were locked in. We were locked into the games, locked into the cast. But thank you. And also thank you so much to Pi for being a part of. I believe Pi is a part of like running and adminning and making sure that like Rotterdam's tournaments run smoothly. Referring to the Kalara Steadfast Roddy Cups, for example, which are a little bit more, a little bit less regular, I should say, but they happen every now and then, or Roddy's random tournaments, his Roddy Cups. I don't know if you have a role and have a hand in the Monday Night Weeklies, but yeah, thank you, Hi as well, for the work that you do behind the scenes. Thank you. That's what's settling in. As Percival does open up with a Widowmine drop. So far, the same opener as game one. He hasn't really deviated. He is not looking to punish his opponent. And we'll see if Shameless can keep up. Widowmine drop comes in. And Shameless, he does pull away in time. Thankfully, no retargeting. Widowmine's barely saved though. Oh no! Yeah, Widowmine's barely saved. They do burrow. More shots going to be going off on the Adepts. And the probes even. Getting 3 probe kills in total. Reaper into the main base, shield barriers in position, and Shameless, he will defend. He will defend. Likewise, this time Shameless, part of this cleaner defense here, cleaner compared to last game, is extra gateway. Remember, last game it was 2-gate blink into a third. It was a very greedy build out of Shameless. This time, a 3-gate blink and a robo on, and even a gas geyser on 2 bases. So much more committed play here on 2 bases, much safer play out of Shameless. I'm sure forced to play a little bit safer because of the more awkward start. And he's turning this defense into an offense. The Prism is out, and we'll see if we can get into the main. Tanks are in position. Bunkers are ready at the natural. Percival, he is looking very secure. Prism, again, coming into the main base. Tank is in position. Ooh, gets 1 Stalker. Yeah, 1 Stalker goes down. And the Percival, he will deter. He will deny the aggression. Stalkers are getting behind the mineral line. Oh, getting 3 SCVs in total. Not bad, getting some damage. 1 Stalker for 3 SCVs. As that mine drop is still active. You still look up NA called in the crossfire. Pegasus Cup, I would say. Pegasus Cup. In modern day, in modern StarCraft. Like that's what the European like degens stay up for. Is Pegasus Cup. Well, I guess it's the equivalent of the previously ESL Open Cup NAs. Is the equivalent. Same with the turtle tussles as well, true. As Percival does find the Prism, very nice catch. as it was going for his own double drop anyway. Thankfully, at least this does alert Shameless of the double drop. Shameless does give chase. Attempts to catch. Oh. Out of the last Percival, he can hold his own. Yeah, can hold his own here at the same time. Raven harass here into the natural, getting 2 probes. Main army does push towards the left-hand side. Colossus gets spotted. Percival still does trade well. Still pushing. He wants that Colossus, I'm sure. We'll see if he can outposition. Tank is moving in. Tank does siege. Charge is complete. Oh, but there's not many zealots. And from here, we can stem in. It doesn't quite go for the dive. Yeah, it doesn't quite get on top of the Colossus. But the tank somehow survived. Wait, what? I thought the tank went down. Never mind, the tank survives, and Percival, he's going for the kill. He's going for the kill. He zones away the main army. Shameless, he kind of pushed into his own natural. He's trying. He does try. 1 tank falls, only the 1. And there's barely an army standing here. Shameless just getting pulled apart in between his natural and his 3rd. Colossus does fall. GG gets called, and Percival, he will take a 2-0 lead. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Percival does take that 2-0 lead here. Again, a more economic start out of Percival. A bit of a more awkward start out of Shameless being caught or being forced to expand at that forward base. Bit of an awkward start going for that triangular 3rd. Likewise, he was caught out of position as well. Percival able to wedge himself in between the bases. Likewise, he was able to catch out the War Prism. Because the War Prism went down, what does that mean? That means that Percival didn't have to keep anything at home to defend. There was no counterattack. There was no threat of a counterattack. There was no threat of any kind of drop or War Prism harass into the bases. So that means that Percival, he could focus and send everything across the map instead. Whereas otherwise, typically you'd be deterred because of that War Prism. But GG. GG, well played. Likewise, he had some nice Widow Mine harass in the start of the game as well. Kept the Widow Mines alive. A nice catch on that Prism, and of course did outposition the main army as well with his tanks. Here we go, we're getting into game number 3, and again, I'm hoping for a back and forth. I want to see a game 3, I want to see a game 4, so this is a game 3. I want to see a game 4, at least, Bappy. Let's go. We're spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tokamak. We have the Red Protoss player, the Red Protoss himself, down in the series. The pressure is on, he has to fight back here and now to make a series out of this. Representing Team Little Fairy, it is Shameless. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Terran player with the blue Terran himself. Leading the series 2-0, it is Percival. Here we go. Hello, Percival. As Percival, he does open up with a hidden racks at his own 3rd location. Now, it is not uncommon for the Terran player to hide their racks further back in the main, or even hidden here in their main base at the natural, at the 3rd, at the 4th location. Not uncommon. The hope here is that the probe scout comes in, the probe sees there's no racks, and then you force an overreaction. You force a zealot out of the Protoss player. And you might even force a 2nd probe out as well to get more scouting information. So mind games. Mind games are going to be coming into play. We'll see how Shameless does react. Now you can see here Shameless, he does double check the entirety of the main. As we mentioned, it is not uncommon to hide the racks in the main base. So he's double checking the main. Does double check. There's that zealot. As you mentioned, typically you never make the zealots, but we're forcing out the zealot because of the threat of a proxy. Shameless still does expand. Still does expand, thankfully. CC on the high ground. CC on the high ground. Zealot does pop out. And Shameless will confirm that... Oh, never mind. It doesn't go back into the main. Pulls away. Marine is revealed. Now he knows. Yeah, the revelation of that Marine reveals that the Rax was on Percival's side of the map. And now Shameless knows that, I wasted time, wasted resources on the Zealot. So with that, we're settling in, and Percival does have a nice little cheeky start here. Bunker is on the way. Oh, hello. As for the first time, Shameless has a really big deviation. That is a Robo, not a Twilight Council or a Stargate. So when it comes to this matchup, there are 3 different tech paths: Robo Openers, Twilight Council, or Stargate. Here, Robo is on the way. This is typically indicative. I mean, this can be one of 2 things here. We can be aggressive early on with a Warp Prism. You can get a Prism, you can warp in some Adepts and Stalkers, move out across the map, and deal early economic damage. That is true. Otherwise, you can play very safe, go for an early Immortal, go for a bait, and go for early Colossus production. Based on the rally, it looks like the Prism. Looks like War Prism first to harass at least, but then can be followed by Colossus play. There we go, Prism is rallied. I'm hoping that Shameless doesn't come across the Marines when he moves out. As Percival has no idea, by the way. Percival, he has no idea as to the tech of choice. Marines are in position to what looks to be deny a hallucination scout. Shameless does commit. As Shameless moves out, Marines are moving in. Yeah, it does reinforce and does re-rally here at the ramp. But last Percival, because he's at the ramp, he will actually miss the Prism. It barely does miss it. If he actually kept pushing forward, he would have spotted it as well. Yeah, as Percival, he's going to rally everything across the map. Hyper aggressive build here by Percival, going for the early tank drop, and we're going to be in a really weird kind of game state here. We're going for a pseudo base trade. Yeah, Stalkers into the main base. At the same time, Percival, he sends everything across the map. Was there a home to defend? Nothing. Okay, 1 Immortal. There's going to be 1 Immortal to defend, potentially. No, not even. The Immortal just began. Percival is going in, takes down the gateway. Boys are being pulled to defend. A lot of SCV is going to be going down. And Percival, we have to send it. We have to go further in. The Immortal's halfway done. Yeah, the Immortal's... Yeah, there we go. Now he's going into the main. He's got to keep pushing. He'll siege up the natural. Takes down the pylon. There's the recall. Does force a recall. Marines, they try to get under the Prism. Immortal has arrived. Tank is yet too... It's close. It's too close. It's too close to the ramp. Tank goes down instantly. Probes are still falling though. It's going to be 10 probe kills. The Prism! No! Prism gets away. Oh, he wants it. He wants the Prism. Drops the Marines, but barely does not get it. Prism gets out. And with that, we have a very shaky start here. Shameless does have the stronger lead though. As the Medevac does boost away. Just barely. And now we can take a moment, now we can take stock. Percival back at home, 20 workers, 20 SCVs with mules. Meanwhile, Shameless on 38. He has a very comfortable 2-base economy here. Shameless has a greater economy. Even expanding and taking a 3rd base, and Percival, he is behind. So, for the first time this series, after the early game, Shameless is in a better position. He's in a better position here. Now, with this, we can go into Colossus production. Now, what is scary about this start is that Percival has the potential to turn this into a 2-base all-in. He can 2-base all-in. The problem, though, if he does go for a 2-base all-in, he's going to be pushing into Colossus. Like, the Colossus is going to be ready so quickly this game because of the Robo Opener. The Colossus and the Immortals as well. So this is just a really safe start out of Shameless. Ooh, snipes the Medevac. Does catch the Marines. And we have the answer for Percival, not a 2-base all-in, 3rd CC. So he's going to try to get into a 3rd CC. He's going to try to play out a macro game from here. But again, for the first time this series, Shameless is going to be able to get into the mid game from a greater position, from more of an advantage. Okay. So again, the ball is in Shameless's court. This is kind of best case scenario to extend the series. This is it. This is Shameless's moment. Getting to charge, +1, gateway explosion, 4th nexus. Yeah, the question becomes, does Shameless push on 3 bases, or does he just back off, expand, and play at a macro game? We're looking to expand. Setting up spotter pylons. How many gates? Getting her to 8. 8 gateways, 4 gases. There's that 4th nexus. And really, there's no reason for Shameless to be aggressive and active until Percival expands. When Percival tries to take a 3rd base, that's when Shameless can try to apply pressure and break the 3rd. But even then, here on Tokamak, it is much more defendable. It is more difficult to break a 4-basing player, so we might just max. We'll see. Yes, here comes Shameless. He's moving out. Again, he has a very comfortable supply lead. And it's not going to be an easy hold here for Percival. He does throw down a wall. Bunkers, depots. Turret as well. We'll see if Percival can make a stand. It's not going to be easy. Yeah, here comes Shameless. Oh. Nice tank shots. Nice tank volleys here on the Zealots at least. First Viking has arrived. Okay. Chipping away at the Colossus. Percival, he's holding on. Liberation has arrived. Now Percival, can he successfully turtle up on 4 bases? No, not 3. Can he get a 4th? Can he get a 4th base up and running? Can he turtle up and max out? This is the best map for that. As we mentioned before, Tokamak is known for longer and later games. And Shameless, he has decided he cannot break Percival. Stargate. Stargate, +1 air attack into Fleet Beacon. Looks like we're working towards Sky Toss. And I'm not opposed to this decision specifically on this map. As we mentioned, like again, this map is more favorable towards turtling up on 4 bases. So Shameless, he may have just decided, hey, you know what? I'm not even going to try. I'm not even going to try. I don't want to risk failing to break a defending a turtling turn. So I may as well just take up 2nd Stargates on the way. Yep, there's a Fleet Beacon. Stargate explosion. And may as well just race and take into Sky Toss. Into the perfect late game composition. So if you're in the chat, strap yourselves in. We're gonna now is the time. Put the kettle on, boil some water, get some snacks. As I believe Shameless should not be pushing in. He should not try. Like, I mean, look at this. We got what, like 6 tanks, 2 liberators. We got bunkers as well. Sim City. The last thing Shameless wants to do is push into this. And we should be seeing a very similar setup here from Percival at his 4th location as well. So Shameless should just back off and max. Carrier production has begun. So we're getting into a handful of carriers. Percival is finding some damage. Now, what Percival needs to do as he scouts the main army, he needs to scan. If he can scan and figure out what's happening, right now the problem is that he has no idea the Sky Toss is coming. Otherwise, he would be throwing down additional starports, right? We need a 2nd, a 3rd starport. Need to get into more Vikings, more anti-air. But again, Percival, he has no idea. So we're going to get into the position here where both armies could max out, but one is not quite like the other, right? The soup does lie. comes down to the composition, comes down to the quality of the army, not just the supply itself. Percival stems in. He wants the High Templar. Oh, he gets one. He gets one. Does he get two? Just one. As he tanked all the storms. What was that? 6 Marines? Give us the update. There we go. 7. 7 Marines for 1 High Templar. And for 3 storms. That's not a bad trade for Percival. With 7 Marines. But I believe he failed to scout.
Just reporting.
Not just referring to the main base, but I believe he failed to see the main army. I believe he has yet to confirm the Skytals. Checking the production. Yep, only 1 starport. Still only 1 starport. Main army's moving in. Percival, he now confirms. Yeah, now he sees. Yeah, now he sees, now he knows. Carriers are revealed. Ghost going down, getting 1, getting 2, getting 3 ghosts. Ooh, just barely 3. 3 goes to go down. Brutal Pigos, Vikings, they do punish the carriers at least somewhat. Yeah, very nice positioning here from Percival. Oh my god, brutal EMPs! EMPs that catch out of the High Templar, 0 storms. Better engaged here by Percival. The tanks that were shelling away. EMPs popping off. Vikings, they can now chase down the carriers. Gets 1. Gets 1, now going for another. Oof, does overextend. Yeah, Percival's got to back up. Back up, got to calm down. But overall, this has just been better engagements out of the Terran. And again, there's still 0 storms. Oh, the carriers overextend. Yeah, losing 1. Losing 1 carrier. Down to how many? Down to 4. Shameless looking for a way in. Oh, may lose another carrier. Another carrier goes down. Army kites back, and Shameless, we're overextending here. Losing another, get down to 2 carriers. And 2 carriers left, but he's running out of Vikings here. Running out of Vikings here. And Shameless looks like he may just have enough. And we spoke earlier, there's no second starport. No second starport. Without Viking production, you just cannot keep up. Whew. And Shameless breaks through. Shameless, he breaks through. Again, Percival, he almost recovered, but again, he just had such a massive deficit at the start of the game. GG gets called, and Shameless, he will fight back. He does put a point on the board. Whew, GG. GG, well played. Again, it was a very, very rough start for Percival. This was the first game where the early game went in favor of the Protoss, went in favor of Shameless. Winding it back, if you recall, we did see both armies miss each other. Percival, he bled out so many workers. Unfortunately, we had a bit of a pseudo-base trade, and because of the recall available, we were able to recall back home. Minimal losses for Shameless. Percival, his economy was crippled. We saw almost a 20 worker disparity between the 2 players in the early game, and Shameless took a massive lead, a massive advantage. That's why Shameless was able to freely tech up into Skytals. Because of that massive lead in the early game, Percival, just a little bit too excited, a little bit too overly aggressive, gets punished for it. Does get punished for it. GG, well played. With that, Percival does fight back, and now we're getting into game number 4. Let's go. Let us go. Whew. And again, Percival, he had some nice moments, moments towards the end of that game, but he was just so far behind. He shouldn't have recovered in that game, and he almost did, which was impressive. For sure. As here we go, we're getting to our next game. We're going to be loading into Ultra Love. And Shameless, he does have a little bit of momentum here. Can he keep this up? Can he keep this going? Can he bring us all the way to the ace match? Personally, I hope so. I hope so. Give us a game 5 back. Give us a game 5. So you're loading into Ultra Love. Ultra Love being one of the smaller maps in the map pool and spawning in the top right-hand corner. Top right-hand corner here of Ultra Love, we have the red Protoss player, the red Protoss himself, fighting back, putting a point on the board. He does have momentum, and can he keep that momentum going? Can he force the ace match for Team Little Fairy? It is Shameless. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Terran, the South Korean Terran, leading the series 2-1 and 1 game away from claiming the series. It is Percival. Ooh, and a cheeky start here out of our Protoss because Shameless is setting up for a proxy gateway. Pylon is going to be thrown down. Now, something, I don't know if you noticed, something that has been happening for the past 2 games specifically. Percival has been going for economic openers. We have been seeing Rax expands for the past 2 games in a row. So I do like the idea, if Shameless has noticed, and I'm sure he has, to try to punish that. 2-gate opener. 2-gate opener out of Shameless. Speaking of, Rax expand out of Percival. Now, we'll see if Percival does scout. It is not uncommon to go for an SCV scout specifically to check for proxies. Not to SCV scout across the map. So we'll see if Percival does check his nearby proxy locations. Oh, he is. Ah, no, he's going across the map. Wow, he's checking across the map instead. He does not scout the 3rd. Percival is getting ready for his CC. The gateways are finishing up. And there it is. Command center is on the way. Double Zealot here from Shameless. Now, what is the goal of this build? Well, of course, to end the game, but to get on top of the CC, to force a cancel, to snowball out of control. Again, Percival has a late factory across the map. He scouts, he sees, gateways are missing. He knows. Bunker instantly gets thrown down on the high ground, and does he just cancel immediately? Does he try to save it? Ah, he doesn't cancel. He doesn't cancel. He wants to save the CC. Bold move. Bold move. Yeah, there it is. It's a bit of a late cancellation, but again, he cannot defend it. Like, there's no shot. There's no shot he can defend it. And again, a late... There's no factory. Like, there's no factory, period. Zelson moving in. Stalkers are on the way. It's already a nice start for Shameless. I mean, it would have been better if this went unscouted. If there was no scout across the map. Reaper gets into the mineral line. Oh no, gets surrounded. Nice moves out of Shameless. Ay, ay, ay. Surrounds the Reaper with the boys. Reaper gets 1 probe kill. Stalkers move in. He's going for the depot. Oh, zoning away the SCVs. Zone away gets 1. 1 SCV goes down, gets 2. 2 SCV kills. Adepts are on the way. The purpose of the Adepts are to provide shades. Shades do provide high ground vision, so you can attack without losing any HP on the units. And there's going to be, what, 4 Marines. 4 Marines to defend. Tech Lab is still on the way, still finishing up. Shameless does expand. And we'll see if Shameless can get the depots. We'll see if he can get into the main. A little bit of miscontrol there. Bleeds out some HP. As we should be staggering those shades. Yep, there we go. But overall, Percival defends. Percival does defend. He does save both depots. He's fine. Percival, he is fine. And with that, the game will continue. Of course, it was a shaky start for Percival, but it's not like Shameless didn't have to invest into this. As when Percival breaks out, Shameless will lose both gateways. He'll lose 2 gateways and a pylon. Because the breakout is coming. It is coming. Oh, ooh, catches the Stalker. Nice control here by Percival. Stalker goes down. And he wants a second Stalker. Oh no! Oh my god, barely gets away. Whew. Shameless, he barely pulls back. Going for another warp in. Shameless will trying to break that natural. Going for the medevac. Oh, bleeds out a little Stalkers there. Medevac goes down, but at the cost of 2 Stalkers. 3 Stalkers! Oh god. 3 Stalkers go down, tank has arrived, and Percival he holds. He holds onto the base, holds onto the natural. Oof, losing another Stalker. And again, Percival he has held. Shameless behind this, working towards Blink. Blink is on the way, but again, Blink is heavily delayed. He's getting extra gateways. Eventually has to expand. The game will continue, but I'm preferring Percival's position here. His economy is solid. His defenses as well. Ooh, that is 2 more gates. So Shameless is getting up to 3 gates, but of course, this is really what, like a 4th and 5th gateway. Followed by the 3rd. No 2 base all in. Okay. Shameless is expanding. And Percival he does take a lead. His own 3rd base is on the way. It's actually on par with the 3rd base of Shameless. That should not be happening. And this is going to be a brutal stim timing as well. Stim, combat shields +1. It's going to hit quite hard. Also, as an update, the sun has risen. The sun is up, baby. Ah. It is 6 a.m. in the morning here. Sun is up. For those who don't know, it's spring. It's spring here in Australia, so sun rises early, sets late. It sets at like 8 p.m. It's crazy. 8 p.m. sunset. Sun rises just in time for bed. True, true. Oh, God. As Percival, he sneaks out. Yeah, barely does sneak out. He hugs the edge of the map. He sucks it in. He breaks out. Shameless, none the wiser. Behind this, Shameless going for a gateway composition, getting into charge. Shameless, he spots the main army, but really this is a distraction. At the same time, double drop into the main. And Shameless out of position. He does force a recall. Recall is forced, such as the pylon does not go down. Oh, sorry, does go down. He denies the warp in. Shameless trying to keep up with the main army as well. Tanks do siege. Baits him into siege range. Not bad. And Percival kites back. Cleans up some of the zealots, dropping the main base, still popping up, snipes the cyber core, brutal pickoff. And Shameless is being pulled apart. He's being pulled apart here. Percival snowballing out of control. Now killing probes, getting economic damage. The main army is still standing strong as well. Still in the center, and this is just too much. Far too much. 9 probe kills. 9 probes go down. And Percival is still not done. He's not done, but behind this, getting his 3rd base up and running. Ghost Academy is on the way. Taking up into Ghost, taking up into EMPs. Bearing in mind that Shameless has 0 splash damage. There's no Colossus, there's no Storm. He's not there yet. He needs time. He needs more time, but time that he does not have. Again, it's been behind economically for the entire game. His opener had to do more damage. His 2-gate opener, I mean. His proxy 2-gate. He had to do more. As Percival, he's just pushing into the natural. The Robo here has potential for immortal production, but it's about to go down as well. Up! Rates at the mine shots. Robo falls at 0 immortals. At this point, we just stim in. Oh, that's a lot of zealots though. True. Jeez, oh god. Brutal mine shots. The mine shots are brutal. Percival just waiting for his reinforcements. He's rallying in. rushing past the charge lots. And again, without any kind of backbone to the army, without Immortals, Colossus, Storm, Disruptors, without any of that, there's nothing to stop a Percival. He can just keep going. He can just keep dropping, and we're going for the base trade. It's, oh god, what's the plan, Pappy? Whatever, I mean, there's no good answer. He recalls, partial recall back home. I mean, again, there's no good answer. GG gets called, and Percival, he will claim the series 3-1, becoming this month's Platinum StarCraft 2 League champion for the month of October 2025. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Percival for claiming this series. Shameless, he was able to hold his own. He was able to make a series out of it. Thankfully, that's all I wanted. No 3-0. No 3-0. Was a 3-1 instead. Shameless was able to pose a threat. And even here in game number 4, the opener wasn't looking too bad. It was lined up here. He was going proxy 2 gate. We had an economic start out of Percival, but because Percival went for the SCV scout across the map, he had the wherewithal to cancel, to throw it in his bunker instantly on top of the ramp, and to pull off a nice defense. Yes, his natural was delayed, but it was also a really big investment for Shameless, which did set him behind as well. And what did he get done with it? He didn't kill a depot. He killed 3 SCVs, I think it was 3 SCV kills, and that is it. Not good enough, not good enough. In the follow-up of that as well, he bled out a lot of units in the attempt to push into the natural. He bled out Stalkers, bled out Zealots. We did see Percival take some better trades with his Cyclone, and he snowballed out of control from there with his drop play, with his macro, with his economy. GG. GG, well played, as Shameless did fall behind. And with that, congratulations to Percival. And again, a shout out to those working behind the scenes. Shout out to those working over in Platinum Esports and Platinum Heroes for organizing, hosting, and funding this event. For those that don't remember, a little bit of a backstory to this tournament, series. If you remember, Platinum Heroes, they used to invest quite heavily into their pro team. They had a big roster. They had arguably one of the biggest rosters in StarCraft, until WTL went on hiatus, right? World Team League went on a big hiatus. A potential return, of course, we did discuss this earlier during the podcast when it comes to the return of the Chinese server and the influx of support to the Chinese scene with the return of Kung Fu Cup and with SC Boy stepping up as well. So I mean, there's at least Kung Fu Cup returning, you know, rumors about WTL, they're just rumors really. But unfortunately, because of WTL going on a hiatus, it did, of course, mean that Platinum Heroes, they couldn't really support a pro roster as large as they used to have. Like, they couldn't really support it, but instead they still had, of course, some resources to work with. What do? They put that money towards tournaments instead. So instead of having the salary for pro players, they instead have these open cups to support the greater scene and the greater community, the greater StarCraft scene. So much love to those working over in Platinum Heroes and Platinum Esports. Kind of one and the same, for running this event on a regular basis and leading into an end of year finals as well. Leading into those finals, again, we've had monthly tournaments for the past 7 months. We'll have another next month coming into November, and it all leads into the end of year finals. And again, a big shout to Rotterdam and some of the other community casters. I believe Dave Testa also did a month as well, but again, depending on who's available, we have different casters. We haven't casted all of the monthlies. We've casted some, others by Rotterdam, others by Dave, and potentially other community casters getting involved as well. So big shout out to the Platinum Boys, big shout out. And with that, thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in. Congratulations to Percival. And also, very quickly, if you want to support this tournament, if you want to support these players, !Macherino, !Macherino in the chat, and you will get a link to the Macherino page where you can help support the tournament if you so wish. Otherwise, watching and tuning in is all that we ask for. Thank you so much. Again, the Macherino page is available. Also, did I not open predictions for the finals? No shot. No, I did it. Thank God. Thank God I did. But yes, so you can help support via Macherino. Otherwise, thanks so much. Thank you so much. WTL return. We need a Cranky Ducklings team for the next WTL. Caribbean, Pappy, Caribbean. we already had our roster in WTL in the past. Okay, we already have our mark in the World Team League history of Cranky Ducklings. It's already happened, and we're good with that. We're also similar in a sense where we no longer support our pro roster. We instead invest into tournaments, of course, and running events. similar to the Platinum boys. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. We do appreciate it. If you want to tune into some more StarCraft, then !socials in the chat. We do stream on a daily basis here on the Cranky Ducklings every single day. We cast more StarCraft than anyone else out there, more StarCraft than Wardy, more StarCraft than Steadfast, more StarCraft than anyone else in the scene. We have the quantity and we have a little bit of the quality as well. As you can see, when it comes to our schedule, we're going to be live. We should be live later on this afternoon with what? With the Revival StarCraft League qualifiers, the RSL qualifiers. We have I believe that's the Americas qualifier coming up. That's going to be at 1 p.m. AST. That's going to be at 11 a.m. AST. It's in like 6 hours. In around 6 hours time, we're going to be live. We should be live with the next tournament. I say should be because the cast is in 6 hours. Ideally, I wake up like at least an hour before that, so I've got 4 hours to sleep. We got 4 hours of sleep. Let's go. I'm gonna try to sleep and pass out and get as much sleep as I can in the lead up to the RSL. Hopefully, I wake up in time to cast it. Then after the Americas qualifier, we go to bed, we wake up, we have the Korean qualifier or the Asia qualifier, and then we have a Tuna Cup on Sunday, and we have the European qualifier after Tuna Cup. So there's a lot of content over the weekend. RSL qualifiers, Tuna Cup, alongside the new Crank Team League, or the Team Invitational. Speaking of Team League, if you hadn't heard, if you were unaware, if you don't watch the podcast, for those who don't know, we do host a regular talk show every single week where we discuss all things StarCraft. But this upcoming week, Crank, J1 Choi, we tribute his name with the Cranky Ducklings, of course. But Crank, he has been sponsored by Chijik, by the Korean streaming platform, and Crank is going to be organizing an invitational, inviting the best teams in StarCraft into a big group stage, into a big playoff event, basically a week-long tournament full of Team League matches, featuring Team Falcons, Team Vitality, featuring Basilisk, Shopify Rebellion, Team Liquid, and Streamer Zone. I think it's those 6 teams. I think it's those 6 teams have been invited and are going to be a part of that tournament. Again, it's a big, like, 6-day invitational, and we are going to be casting that next week via replays. For those that are curious as to why it's going to be a replay cast, technically, we do have permission to cast it live. True, we do have permission. But because the event is sponsored by Chijik, it means that it has to be streamed on Chijik. If you don't know, Chijik is basically, it's like a competitor to Afrika TV. Afrika TV is like a Korean streaming platform, kind of like Twitch. Think of like Twitch, think of like Kick, but over in Korea. The reason for this is, of course, Twitch, they no longer support the Korean scene. They no longer support any Korean servers or streamers. So because that, when Twitch pulled out of Korea, they had to bring up and prop up a bunch of their own streaming platforms. So that's when we had Chijik. Chijik did rise up. I think there's like a Kakao streaming platform alongside Afrika TV as well. So they and Chijik, they have been actually sponsoring a lot of StarCraft tournaments, but of course, with their sponsored tournaments, it is exclusive to streaming on their platform. And we do have an account. We have streamed on their platform before, but the reality is we don't really get a lot of viewership. As you can imagine, not a lot of people know about the site and are willing to try out the site either. It also has some routing issues, so kind of like Afrika, if you're in Europe, you can get a lot of lag. You can get a lot of lag trying to watch it live, which is less than ideal. And when we used to stream on Chijik for events like this, we wouldn't really get a lot of viewership. A lot of people wouldn't really pay attention. And it'd be a little bit disheartening because we'd do the live cast and then like Wardy would go live with replays like the next day and we get all the viewership because no one was watching it live anyway. They just watched the replay cast. So it's like, we may as well do the same. May as well just screw the live cast. We'll just do replays and we get more eyes on us anyway if we do that. So that'll be the plan. So we're going to be doing a bunch of, when I say replay cast as well, it'll be like maybe 24 hours later, or maybe less, like 20 hours later. But after the games do conclude, we'll be having those replay casts, and that'll be throughout the course of the week. That'll be throughout the course of Monday to, I think, Sunday. Jesus, so a full week of Team League StarCraft. Let's go, papi, let's go. It's all good. It's all good. Take care, but yes, it's time for bed. It's time for bed. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for support. Again, it's going to be a really intense week for us with RSL and with Crank's Chijik tournament as well. So it's going to be a lot of StarCraft, a lot of content. If you haven't seen the page for it, it is the Crank Gatherers. One momento. I'll show it off to you guys if you haven't if you haven't been tuning in. Oh. Meanwhile, big shout out. Thank you so much, Stan. Thank you so much for the gifted subs. 5 gifted subs to the community, to Means Horns, to Spectre, to Jardozer, to I Am Mr. Wiggles, and to Delphinic Star as well. Thank you, Papi. Thank you. I Stan. Thank you. Always do appreciate the support. Always, Papi. Always. But just so you guys can see. Bam, there we go. I'll clean it up for you guys. But this is the Crank Gatherers Season 2, and again we have all the invited teams. Here we have Basilisk featuring Raynor, Roddy, Cyril, and Trigger. We have Shopify with Bjorn, Harsum, Lambert, Scarlet. We have Streamer Zone with the biggest roster with Baby Marine, Geralt, Jumi, Lunacy, Nightmare, Quanta, SOS. We got Team Liquid, and we have Team Vitality as well, and Team Falcons. Team Falcons, it's off to the side. But again, these are going to be the 6 competing teams. And as you can see here, it is a full week event. Day 1 is going to be the 27th of October. Again, in 2 days. In 2 days' time, we have Basilisk versus Streamer Zone. We already have the lineups. Oh my god. We already have the lineups here, actually. We have Cyril versus Jumi, Trigger versus Nightmare. We have right, true. They feature 2v2s. 2v2, Cyril and Trigger versus Nightmare and SOS. And we have Raynor versus Geralt. So again, it is Pro League format where the lineups are already revealed ahead of time. And there's even a 2v2 portion as well. Love to see it. We have Team Liquid versus Shopify. That's going to be Clem versus Lambo, Cure versus Bjorn. We have Cure and Skilless as the duo. Not the team that I was expecting. We have Harsum and Lambo. They're going to be the Harambo duo. Let's go. Skills versus Harsum as well towards the end. We have Vitality versus Team Falcons with Zound versus Rogue, Ryung versus Bunny, and we have Maru and Ryung teaming up together. Let's go in the 2v2, and Maru versus Solar in that final game. And then we have the group stage after that. So we have the preliminary round for seeding purposes to make it through. Then we have the group stage with the final teams, and then we have the playoffs as well. So again, preliminary round into group stage into final playoffs. And again, this will last the entire week of StarCraft. It's gonna be crazy, baby. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be ending on the 1st of November. And again, we'll be covering it ourselves. I mean, you can even see it here. You see streams, official stream, Cranky Ducklings replays, Wardy replays. So at least ourselves and Wardy are going to be casting via replays. And again, we'll be casting like 24 hours after like each of the matches actually takes place. As a heads up. There we are. So yeah, that is going to be next week. It's been so long since we've had team leagues. It's since we've had like team tournaments like this. It's gonna be amazing, man. It's gonna be amazing. Otherwise, thank you so much for the bits in the chat as well to iStan. Thank you so much, iStan, for the 1,000 bits. Gracias, papi, gracias. Do appreciate it. Thanks for everything. We'll try to continue from now on to follow more closely. Thank you, Adam Leon. Thank you. Oh, Adam Leon. Adam Lion even. But thank you so much. Do appreciate it. But yeah, with that, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Again, I don't think many people are aware of this event that's happening next week. It's a pretty big event, a massive prize pool. All the big teams are going to be competing, of course, and we'll be covering it via replays here on this channel. We'll be covering it via replays. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. And again, you can follow us on all the socials. Follow us on YouTube. We do upload on YouTube on a daily basis. So if you see something that you want to watch, but you can't watch it live, check it out on YouTube. YouTube is the place to be. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next time. Again, we should be live in around 6 hours if I can wake up in time. I'm going to get passed out, try to sleep as much as I can, and then get some breakfast, and then to freshen up and get ready. See you in 6-ish hours. Hopefully. See you then. Ciao, papi, ciao. Until next time, thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys over the weekend for some more StarCraft.